Hello everyone, welcome to Res Snapper. My name's MJ and today we're going to look at the Thunderbolts season. We're going to rank every card, give it a star rating, and I'm going to tell you whether you should buy it or not. So kicking things off with the season pass card, which is Baron Zemo, I have landed on 4 stars. So I think I'm a little hotter on this than other people are. I think just in general, it's a really good card. Let's talk about Mill in a minute, but just playing him straight, he's a 3/5. He's probably going to pull a 1-cost card, which is probably going to be 2 power. So, like, sort of bare minimum, he's a 3/7. Now, you do have the small downsides. It does take up a fair bit of space. On turn 3, you're not always wanting to fill 2 spaces, especially with so many clog cards around. So you got that consideration to make. You got the consideration to make that you are thinning their deck. Now, on that, a lot of people were talking about before this came out, a lot of people were talking about how that is such a negative thing. The thing is, when you're playing it, you don't really like feel it. It may well be the case that you're thinning their deck, but you don't really feel it. So from the fun and how it feels point of view, that's not such a bad thing. But then the third downside is that you can draw a card that messes you up. So you might draw something like a discard card and it gets rid of a really important piece you had. But generally speaking, a 3/7, it's premium stats, it's really good. And also, crucially, this card is super fun. This is so fun to play. So I really like him from that perspective. Synergies wise, he obviously works with Yondu in Gladiator, and he has sort of become this archetype defining card in Mill. Mill is finally sort of viable. Now, people online, you know, the Discords and the Reddits are evil people. Kidding. Actually, like both of those communities. Actually, Reddit can get a bit prickly, but Discord has been lovely. Haven't been on Discord long. I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, they'll tell you that Mill is just annoying and it's not actually good. Well, actually, in the right deck, Mill can be good. Dr. Octopus, incredibly annoying to play against. You know, Mill is definitely an irritating archetype to play against, but it can be strong. Just maybe not when you sort of screw them. They sort of know it's the game is up and they retreat. So should you actually buy him? Maybe. I think he's a really good card. I think he's a really, really fun card. So if you like fun and chaos and randomness, then definitely. But otherwise, I just think he's very solid and definitely a maybe for the pickup. Now, moving on to Red Hulk. This card came out super busted. They nerfed it and it's still absolutely excellent. I've given it 5 stars and I've said that you should buy this. You would just when this comes up, you should just buy it. Synergies wise, I haven't read out what the cards actually do. Brilliant. I'll read this out now. When you're hilariously, I restarted this video because I didn't read out what the powers were. And I've just done it again. I'm certainly not doing it for the third. I'm certainly not restarting the video for the 3rd time. Anyway, Red Hulk's ability is, you know this, when your opponent ends the turn with unspent energy, +4 power, if in hand or in play. So Red Hulk has to be in your hand or on the battlefield for this effect to trigger. Synergies, Iceman, you're going to stop them playing things, you're going to slow down their strategy and they might float energy. And Wave, similarly, they might be floating energy if you play that. So those are some key synergies. I have got a replacement card here of Magneto. But really, I mean, Magneto is like basically equally powerful. Red Hulk is probably going to end up as a 13, like bare minimum, most games. So Magneto is similarly powerful, but also a little bit of disruption in there as well. Red Hulk has a vague element of disruption in the fact that he reveals himself. So there's that imposing threat that your opponent knows he's coming. And you can actually take advantage of that by then swerving and playing something different. Like you might have a Dr. Doom in your deck. In any case, this card is crazy. It's super, super powerful. Really strong. Regularly, even with this nerf, it's regularly getting up to like 18s. Is that even possible? 8, 17. 17s, 21s. I still think it's just an absolutely gross card. Definitely worth picking up. Moving on to US Agent. This is a card that had to be buffed. When it came out, it was like a minus... I'll read out the ability, shall I? Ongoing. 4, 5, and 6 cost cards here have -4 power, and he's a 2 energy, 3 power card. And he used to be -3 power. giving the cards -3 power. So I actually thought that was alright. -4 I actually think is so good. And I have only given him 3 stars, but I do actually, honestly, it's borderline 4 for me now. I actually think he's really good now. The ability to sort of lock down a location by playing a card there that costs 2, and then your opponent now, or I don't actually have this card. My wife is good. Sorry, my wife just started using the Hoover. I do apologise. I'm very thankful that she's doing that task. That's great. Just to, I don't want comments saying, "Oh, you're just sitting there filming videos. Your wife is doing chores. How dare you?" I'm very happy she's doing that. Just maybe not now. Kidding. So yes, naturally I can't remember what the hell I was talking about now. Certainly US agent. But yeah, no. So I didn't get this card. When this card released, there was issues with the spotlight caches, and I ended up opening like 5 caches that week. Got some of them refunded, but basically, it wasn't possible to get US Agent at first. So I got my Jeff variant, and I should have this card, but I don't. So I've only played against it. So these thoughts are from playing against it. But when they play that US Agent, and you now have this location where you pretty much. You can play 4, 5, and 6 cost cards into it, but they're going to be -4. That is such a heavy penalty to play. It feels like they're locking down this location, and then with some of the key synergies here being Man Thing and Spectrum, so they're really controlling where you can play to stop these negative effects. Can be very potent, especially with this new Spectrum deck that has popped up. Spectrum with US Agent works really nicely. I really like this card. I've put it as a maybe for whether you should buy it, because Luke Cage is still so prominent, and Luke Cage just shuts down the card completely. I think Luke Cage will, the power of Luke Cage continues to rise, and he continues to be such a valuable card as all these negative affliction cards start coming out. So maybe you need to rock some Rogue or some Enchantress with some of these cards. To get rid of the Luke Cages, but that's probably the only reason, or I should say that's one of the contributing factors that haven't given him a higher score, because Luke Cage is such a good counter. And in terms of replacements, Man Thing is probably the closest thing, but nothing's quite the same. Still, I enjoy this card, it's good. I say I enjoy it, I've never played it, but it seems good to me. Next up, Red Guardian. This might be the controversial one of this video. I've given him 3 stars, and I've said skip, as in don't buy him. Now, I want to caveat that by saying I actually do think the Red Guardian is a good card, and I actually do think that I think 3 is probably fair. I was going to say borderline 4. Maybe it's like 3.5, right? He is a good card. So he's got he's a 3/3 with the on reveal ability. Afflict the lowest power enemy card here with -2 power and remove its text. So no matter what happens, you're getting it basically 3/5 in value, but you're also potentially screwing up something absolutely crucial. So this guy absolutely slaughters Dracula's, Morbius's, other discard stuff, Quinjets I've had happen to me. And just give me one brief moment. A hair is in my mouth. I'm actually going to take a piece of water there. So yeah, this card is actually good. I actually do genuinely think he can be game winning in those times where he takes out Dracula, and even bloody so annoying when he takes out things like Quinjet. So he is a great card, and not only that, he does take down the power. I've seen him utilised really well in locations like Luke's Bar. Let's say you've snuck something into Luke's Bar. They can then play Red Guardian repeatedly to knock you down so that you lose that location. So he's got some really cool utility like that. However, he's just good, but he's not doing anything mind-blowing. He's not... I don't even know how to explain this. This is a terrible video because I can't explain the words. Why do I think he's a skip? There's just other things. I've put here a replacement could be Rogue. I just think come about him normally, or wait for a spotlight week where he's in with 3 cards that you need, or even like maybe 2 cards that you need. Generally, I just think he's good. He's just not vital. He's not vital, and there's such stronger things in him around. So yeah, skip. That's controversial, I know. Give me the hate in the comments. Right, next up is White Widow. I've given White Widow 4 stars, but I've said you should only maybe purchase. White Widow is really cool, and she can be very strong in this clog, in these clog decks with like Annihilus and all these other things. But just in general, she's actually good outside of that. I really like her just in anything. Like I've put her in random shield decks and stuff, and she can feel very good. Now, the one downside of her, or the primary downside of her at the moment, is that when she was released, everyone was playing Clog. So everyone was using Annihilus. So they were sending the Widow's Bite back. So that side of it is bad. However, I think she will only continue to get stronger as we move further and further out from this sort of short period of time where we had lots of Clog stuff, or Clog improvements that were made. Some of the synergies I like, obviously Green Goblin, just because of the general Clog archetype, and you're just further reducing all of those spaces where they can play their cards. But I also like what a few other content creators I've watched have highlighted this, is that if you put other threats down like Nebula and Lizard, they've got these like different locations where they sort of need to play cards. So with Widow, I didn't say what the card does. She's a 2/2. On reveal, add a Widow's Kiss to your opponent's side of this location, and then the Widow's Kiss is a 0/0 that has an ongoing ability, which is -4 power, and it just is disabled if they fill the location. So now that you know what it does, because yeah, good. Excuse me again. Naturally, I can't remember where I was. I should take this moment to say subscribe. Are the videos going to be better? Are they going to get better? I can't even take the piss out of myself. Well, are these videos going to get better? No, they're not. But you should subscribe anyway. Yeah, and she's just generally good. She can be utilized with things like Spider Woman as well. Like they rush to fill the location, and then you Spider Woman it, so they get even less value out of it. So yeah, she's just really cool. This variant, by the way, is incredible. And yeah, I would just say maybe get, just because it depends if you enjoy Clog. I know I said that you can use it in anything, but it's primarily a Clog card, so it's whether you enjoy that style of deck, and if you just enjoy the card. But I think she's actually good for a 2 cost. I think she's really strong. Just the one thing that we found from playing her is that it is quite easy to sort of resolve that location and just fill it. And that means that you've blocked them 1, but you've only played a 2/2, and they've managed to turn it around more easily. So yeah, in summary, I suppose I sort of did just summarise it, but basically easier to combat her effect than expected, but she's still really good and can be a really nice control tool. And actually I didn't put it in the synergies, but things like Professor X and Storm are particularly good with her as well. Finally, it's Valentina. She might be one of the most fun cards of the season, but my gosh, she came out a little weaker than expected, to be honest, guys. She is a 2/3 with the on reveal ability. Add a random 6 cost card to your hand, give it -2 cost and -3 power. So first and foremost, if you've not seen Valentina in action, the animation is so cool. She adds a card to your hand and the shield logo comes up, but then the Hydra logo comes up and gives it the -3 power. So, sorry, water break again. Oh, my wife has appeared. Are you ready, my love?
Yes.
I'll just be a few minutes. Yeah, so yeah, she adds a random card to your hand. Key synergies here, my favourite synergies, Quinjet, because you can play Quinjet on 1, Valentina on 2, and then you can just play the 6 cost out on turn 3. That is a line that feels really good, really, really fun. Like if you like your random shield decks or just random decks in general or just fun decks, this does feel so fun. So I really recommend it from that perspective. And then Nico Minoru, because another line that is so much fun to play, which you can definitely easily achieve, is on turn 3, playing Valentina and then Nico, where Nico copies the next card that you play, because you can then play the 6 cost card, or I've also done it in reverse, so playing Nico first on 1 to copy a card, and then you copy Valentina, and then you can play Valentina again on 3, so you're getting 2 rolls of the dice to see which like 6 costs you get. Now, in terms of the 6 costs you can get, I've had some absolutely crazy moments. One of my favourite things that I've had is doing the Nico copy trick. I managed to get 2 onslaughts, so 4 cost 5 power onslaughts, slamming them down, and then on the final turn playing Blue Marvel. Absolutely amazing, so much fun, super powerful, because that I was just obviously shot up in power everywhere. That was so good. However, I've also had moments where like I've played Valentina in desperation on turn 5, and she's bloody given me Agatha. And I've been like, oh my god, and she lost the game for me in that situation. I actually think in general Agatha's going to be really good from Valentina, but unfortunately I've only had her late. I haven't had her early. If you get Quinjet Valentina into Agatha, amazing, because you only get 1 turn of not being in control. Agatha will play herself, and it's amazing. So this card is absolutely tons of fun, but it is quite weak, and that's why I'm saying skip it. Only buy this if you like fun, or if you like shield decks and randomness, because honestly, like competitively, this card like is genuinely not good. I actually think she could do with a buff. I think she could probably go to give it -2 cost and -2 power at minimum, to be honest. I don't know what else they could tweak with her beyond that. I think she'd probably feel a little bit more sensible at that, because getting these things like the -3 power Zola, that's really bad. Null generally feels bad, and Leader is quite bad, because you're taking away power from one location, and there's just little things about her that make her a bit weaker, but otherwise she is a very fun card. So yeah, I'm saying skip. My heart is saying buy. We've turned on storage sense. My computer's telling me that I've not got enough storage. Pathetic. How dare you when I'm filming a video. Anyway, that is the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new, please do consider subscribing, even though I've just been chatting sort of largely bollocks, I think it's fair to say. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. You're not coming back. Cheers.